So as we are discussing about the concentration of the solution, and we have already discussed the percentage, molarity, molality. Now we have to discuss about the mole fraction. What is the mole fraction? It is the ratio of number of moles of a component to the total number of moles of the solution. So it is the ratio of number of moles of a component to the total moles of the solution. Let us take a component A and the B are there, and its mole fraction is represented by XA and XB. Number of moles of A is the NA and NB. Then the mole fraction of the component A will be equal to number of moles of the A by the total number of moles NA and NB. Similarly, the mole fraction of the B component will be equal to NB by NA plus NB. The sum of the fraction is equal to 1. So XA, that is the mole fraction of the A plus mole fraction of the B, is equal to 1. If you know the mole fraction of one of the component, then you can find out the mole fraction of another component. For example, if you would like to know XB, then 1 minus XA. So while knowing the mole fraction of the component, one of the component, we can find out the mole fraction of the other component. So this is another way to express the concentration of the solution. Now, next is mass percent, mass fraction, mass fraction. Mass fraction. In the mass fraction, it is also the ratio of mass of a component to the total mass of the solution. So the mass fraction is equal to mass of a component divided by total mass of solution. So this is called mass fraction. Then another way to express the concentration of the solution in which the quantity of the substance, quantity of the solute is very, very small, and that is expressed by the ppm, parts per million. That is the number of parts of a component to the total parts of the solution present in 1 million. So that is the part of a component, part of a component or mass of a component divided by total part of solution into 10 to the power 6. So this is the way by which we express the concentration of the solution. In other words, the strength. Strength means the gram amount of the substance in gram present in 1 liter of the solution. So that is expressed by the gram per liter. So strength of the component present per liter of the solution is called gram per liter and known as the strength. So these are the different ways to express the concentration of solution. Now you will have to discuss the solid liquid solution. Solid liquid solution. The solid liquid solution is are of the two types. One is the unsaturated solution. Unsaturated solution. The unsaturated solution is the solution in which the small quantity of the substance present in excess of the solvent, in the large quantity of the solvent in a dilute solution. So such solutions are called unsaturated solution. Another is the saturated solution. Saturated solution. The solution in which the maximum quantity of the substance present in a given amount of the solvent at a particular temperature is called saturated solution. The solution in which the maximum amount of the substance dissolved in the given amount of the solvent at a particular temperature or at a given temperature is called saturated solution. There is another term which is used, solubility. Solubility. So solubility is the amount of the substance dissolved in 100 gram of solution at a given temperature. The amount of the substance dissolved in 100 gram of the solution at a given temperature, that is called solubility. So every substance is at own solubility. For example, the common salt, we can dissolve the maximum about the 36 gram of the sodium chloride at a given temperature in 100 gram of the solution. So this is called solubility. Now the factors affecting the next is the factors affecting the solubility of the solid in liquid. Factors affecting solubility of solid in liquid. The first factor is the nature of solute and nature of solvent. Nature of solute and the nature of solvent. Another factor is the temperature. Temperature, where the pressure does not affect the solubility of the solid in the liquid. So first, nature of the solute and the nature of the solvent. As you know, not all the substances dissolve in a particular solvent. For example, in water, only those substances are soluble, highly soluble in water, which are polar in nature. So, polar solute, that we can say ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are the polar compounds are highly soluble in water. Why is it so? Because the water is also polar and the ionic compounds are also polar. So both are the polar, and due to this polar nature, when like the solubility of the sodium chloride, when the sodium chloride dissolve in water, which consists of the sodium ion and the chloride ion, and as you know, the water is polar in nature, where the hydrogen part of the water is partially positive So this chloride ion, which is the negatively charged ion, it is surrounded by the hydrogen parts of the water, and whereas the sodium ion is surrounded by the oxygen part of the water. This is the reason why the ionic compounds dissolve. So see, so there is an attractive force developed between the positively charged ion of the sodium and the oxygen parts of the water, whereas the chloride ion of the sodium chloride and the hydrogen part of ion. Due to this attractive force, an energy is released, and that energy is called hydration energy. Hydration energy. And if this hydration energy overcome the hydrogen bonding of water, if it dominates over hydrogen bonding of water and the lattice energy of the ionic compound, lattice energy of ionic compounds. So this, if the hydration energy dominates over the hydrogen bonding and the lattice energy of the ionic compounds, then the ionic compound dissolve in water. So only those ionic compounds are soluble in water in which the hydration energy which evolve due to the hydration of the ionic compounds dominates over the hydrogen bonding of water, breaks the hydrogen bonding of water, and the lattice energy of the ionic compounds. Do you know what is the lattice energy? Lattice energy is the amount of an energy released, that is the change in enthalpy when 1 mole of the ionic compound is formed from the requisite number of ions. That is the change in enthalpy, change in enthalpy, change in enthalpy means the quantity of the heat evolved or absorbed, quantity of heat evolved or absorbed when requisite number of ions deposited to form one mole of ionic compound. Ionic compounds. So as it is clear that the ionic compounds are highly soluble in water because water is polar, whereas the ionic compounds are insoluble in the organic solvent, means the non-polar solvent like the benzene, ether, etc., because these are not polar. Now this shows that the polar compound dissolve in the polar solvent and non-polar compound dissolve in the non-polar solvent, and that is the basic universal principle is like dissolves like, like dissolves like. That is the universal truth. The students having the similar frequency, they mix with each other and form the friendship with each other. So like dissolves like, this is the basic principle for the solubility, for the solution of the substances, this ionic compound. So this is the nature of the solute and the nature of the solvent. Another factor, as I said, which affects the solubility is the temperature. As we increase the temperature, then what happens? The solubility increases. So usually the solubility increases when we increase the temperature. So the temperature plays a very important role in the solubility of the solid in liquid. So this is about the solution of solubility of the solid in liquid. देखा जाए पहले